What is that leg doing?
The most impactful part was being able to do that in a group setting where I had classmates talking.
It's basically got the Reddit medical and pre-medical society booming. What's up, YouTube? If you're new here, my name is J.R. Smith. I'm a first-year medical student at the Mayo Clinic, and we are officially going back to school today. So if you've been following this channel, you know that the last 2 weeks I've been on these selective weeks periods in our curriculum where we get to just explore our personal interests. And now we're back to the formal curriculum where we have class with my class. Today I have a course titled Disruptions in Development, and this is basically examining the impact that early childhood traumas, whether that be medical or mental, emotional, physical, socioeconomic, all of these factors that an individual can experience early on in their childhood, what role does that have in their development, and how can that be seen in certain experiences or certain characteristics that they display as adults. But first things first, gotta get going on this Anki.
Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. I'm talking be my all clean, fit too mean, finger all shiny on my baby's diamond ring. I was on a high till I caught onto the scene. Swear I lost my heart when I fell in love with things. Rookie year went broke like Jalen Rose. Got the price on my...
Alright, I just finished my morning Anki. It is 6:49 in the morning. I can wake up a little later because I don't have as many Anki cards to do, but Madison is getting ready for work. She usually leaves the house around 7, so I'm going to help her get her car packed and get her going, make her morning a little easier, and then we will get back to kind of preparing for lecture.
Locked in and got my mind right, prioritizing, got my business and my time right. Wristwatch, no TikTok, you know the crown. I get guap, then flip stocks, you know it now. My baby's loyal and she holds it down. Play with my fam and I might blame you, but it's going down. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot.
I finally forced myself up from my comfy chair. That's the problem when you get a comfy chair, is it's comfy. But now I'm going to spend some time working on my research project. So again, I've been doing a research project that I started this past week, going over just some of the factors that may make a candidate a non-ideal candidate for meniscal root repair. So I'm working with the sports medicine department, a subspecialty in orthopedic surgery, to kind of, analyze this. And so my job right now, this is a project, and so just to kind of give you a brief understanding of what research, for the most part, clinical research means, especially from the standpoint of a medical student, is we usually go and we look for research mentors. And so we don't necessarily come up with a project ourselves because, again, in terms of medical understanding, we are at the bottom of the totem pole. So you have to have a much greater understanding of medicine, usually in order to come up with your own research projects and things like that. And as you progress with certain research mentors, sometimes if you have a certain idea, you can talk to them about it and pursue that. But for the most part, you seek a mentor who already has an idea for a research project and you jump on to help them with it. And that help can come in a lot of different ways. So you can either be somebody who is doing a chart review. So for example, that's what I'm doing right now in this case. And so we have all of the patients who've experienced this meniscal root repair. So we're going to look at certain factors like the patient's BMI and their knee alignment. Did they come in with varus or valgus knee alignment? Do they have joint space narrowing? So we have this collection of factors that we're going to analyze. So I'm basically tabulating all the patients in our database who've experienced a meniscal root repair and then examining these certain factors and seeing if these factors played any role in their outcomes. And so you can see that my role with this research project is to gather the data, to gather all of the information, then we'll examine the information and then we'll go from there in terms of writing the report. And so a lot of students jump on projects and they can have so many different opportunities to get involved, whether that's gathering the data, whether that's writing a specific section, whether that's writing the entire thing. And based on your involvement, you're going to have a different role on that paper. So for example, if you gather the data and you write the entire thing, you will be the primary author on that paper. Your research mentor will be the corresponding author. They're still the one who kind of headed this research project. But if you've ever seen scientific articles and you see like 7 authors on the top of that article, that first author is going to be that primary author, the one who wrote the majority of the work. And that last author is going to be the corresponding author. He's the one who kind of headed the project. And so, and all the authors in between are secondary authors, and those are ones who kind of helped, whether that be helped gather data, whether that be reviewed the article. And so for people who are interested in getting involved in research, which I suggest that you do, whether that be in your pre-med years or in medical school, there are tons of opportunities to get involved. But the first thing that you want to do is just find a research mentor. And my suggestion would be to find a research mentor who is known for being very prolific in getting things published. Find somebody who, you know, has 50 publications a year versus somebody who has 2 publications a year. You know, you're going to have a lot more opportunities to get published. And so that's basically what I'm doing now. And I'm fortunate because the sports medicine team here, just the hospital here, is very, very prolific in their research. And so finding people who are really cranking out publications is not too difficult. It's awesome because it's not only going to help me continue to build my CV and continue to kind of grow in my understanding of a specialty that I'm very interested in, but it's also building relationships with faculty members. And that is one of the key reasons why I think that medical students, pre-medical students, everybody should be looking to do research. And I'm also getting ready to get involved in another research project focused on regenerative medicine and orthopedics, so more basic science research compared to the clinical research that I'm used to doing. And since it's basic science, it'll take multiple years to complete compared to clinical research, which can be completed in a few months. But I think it's beneficial to kind of expose myself to both clinical and basic research. But all of this is to say that you guys will probably be seeing me do a ton of research over the next 4 years of medical school. I actually really enjoy it. I think it's extremely beneficial. And I think it's powerful to be a medical student, but still have the opportunity to make an impact in medicine, you know, through research. So it feels empowering to do research sometimes. So I will definitely be doing a lot of that. And I hope that all of this goes to show that when you're in medical school, your time is not completely focused just on studies and just on your curriculum. There's so much time for you to do outside things. And so that can be community service, that can be research, that can be your own personal endeavors like making YouTube videos. And so medicine, medical school, it's very daunting, and there is a ton of work that goes into it. You guys know that I work hard, all medical students work hard, but it's not just sitting in lecture and studying for 18 hours a day and then repeating the next day and continuing for that for 4 years. So there is time to explore your personal interest and do other things that will build your CV and continue to kind of work on that professional development. We're not only focused in medical school on academic development and understanding of principles of medicine, though all of those things are extremely important, but there's a professional development component in medical school as well. But I have about an hour and a half before my lecture on disruptions in development. So I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna crank a little bit away on some of this research before lecture. Then I'll spend about 30 minutes or so just preparing for lecture. I already prepared for it last night, but just kind of making sure that I'm all ready to go. And I will see y'all in a little bit.
Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot.
All right, y'all, it's about 30 minutes until lecture. I gotta go eat. I also gotta see what Blaze is doing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like usual. Dude. Why do you just get to sleep all day and I gotta work? Huh? You spoiled. What is that leg doing? All right, y'all, I gotta get some food.
Language development is growing exponentially, but the child still doesn't remember very much. Most of us do not have a lot of memories because we didn't lay them down from much before age 5.
All right, guys, so we just finished my lecture on disruptions in development, and it was pretty impactful, like almost all classes are. But we spoke with somebody who has cerebral palsy with spastic dystonia, and so you can kind of think the professor gave us a good analogy. If you kind of just had to hold your body in constant flexion for 24 hours out of the day, so if you just were kind of doing this constantly and flexing all of your joints and not being able to relax, that would kind of simulate what this patient experienced. And the patient actually brought up that he, at a certain point, had 3% body fat and a six-pack, just because, never lifted a weight or anything, but just because of the constant tension that his body was under. And so it's a tragic disease process for sure, and we don't know everything about it. But it was very meaningful to speak with him because he was able to share his experience. He's in his 40s and lived his whole life with it. And so being able to hear his experience, whether that be with experience with girlfriends, experience working, you know, all of these type of things, it's nice because when you live a life where you are only accustomed to your normal, right? When you live a life when your experiences kind of determine what you assume other people's experiences are, it's impactful to hear from other people their specific experiences, especially when it deviates from what you may assume. And so it was extremely impactful. Now we have a meeting here. I have a meeting. We're meeting in small groups in order to coordinate with COVID regulations. My small group is meeting at 2:15, so it's currently 10:35, so I have a few hours. I think we also have a class meeting, but that's just virtual on Zoom at noon, I think. But first, I need to shower. I haven't showered today yet. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all getting the full experience here. But I'm gonna shower so I can be all fresh and ready to go come time where I need to leave to campus, and we're gonna go from there. Alright guys, so we just got out of a Zoom meeting that our academic affairs held for us, basically explaining that a comment that was recently posted on Reddit is absolutely false. Apparently, somebody posted that there is a secret internal ranking at Mayo for first and second years, because we are pass-fail, and this basically got the Reddit Medical and Pre-Medical Society booming. So they basically wanted to hold a meeting for us, which I really appreciate, emphasizing that this is false information. So I just want to emphasize to you guys that this is false information. Do not believe everything that you hear on Reddit. You never know what people are saying. You never know the credentials behind people. People could be saying things just so that people aren't applying to Mayo. Now they have a better chance at doing things. Everything is anonymous, so you don't know. So as you can see, they're saying that admin told us that they do not rank students internally, and they're claiming that this is a huge lie. Well, guys, this is not a lie. Do not believe Reddit, believe your administration. Admin, they're not hiding behind fake names and the internet. So basically, when you are applying to residency programs, you have to submit what's called a dean's letter. It kind of sounds like a letter of recommendation or something. It's not. It's basically, it used to be called a dean's letter. Now it's called the Medical Student Performance Evaluation, or MSPE. And this is basically a form that is saying, you know, it's just an objective evaluation of every medical student. So most pass-fail schools, your first 2 years, your preclinical years, those are pass-fail. So there's no ranking or whatever. Schools that do have a ranking system, they actually put the percentile that that specific student falls into, and that goes into their MSPE. Now, third year, when you're on your rotations, I don't think that there are any medical schools that do pass-fail for your clinical rotations. But these are, you know, they are graded. They're graded in a honors, a high pass, a pass, and a fail, I think, are the 4 typical grades for your clinical rotations. And so that has always been the case. Most schools, I think that is the case almost universally. But if you did see the Reddit comment, it is completely false. Just had a meeting with our administration going over it. Everybody's just upset because it claims to be a third-year student here. We don't believe it is. So don't believe Reddit. Don't believe Reddit all the time. Don't believe Student Doctor Network all the time. They can be great resources and they can be extremely toxic at the same time. So don't let that be your end-all be-all, but I have about an hour or so before I need to get up to campus for my small group discussion over the lecture this morning. So I'm gonna get some food in my system and then I will see y'all there.
2020 vision, I want all the loot. Windows tinted, never rented, but I've been accused. Numbers up and we need no recruits. Leather loafers for the tailored suits. Making moves that you could never do. You sure I'm cool, but I'm never amused. When I cop it by the tools. The weather change, I change the views. I drop a record and I watch it boom. You see me working like one on a Zoom. Was that since I left?
This is the first time, because of COVID, that we've had a formal group discussion. So there were about 9 of us, or 9 to 10 of us in the classroom with our professor, just going over the case that we had today. And it was so fun to be around people, guys. Oh my goodness. Like, with Zoom being the standard at this point for education, it's like the world has been in 2D, and then you get in a group situation, and now it's like, oh, 3D is even better. So that was amazing. We basically talked about the patient that I talked about earlier, the patient with cerebral palsy, and just what we got from it. Our professor, he's a psychiatrist, and so the goal of this class, again, is to examine the disruptions in development, these decalages, these basically ways that one single disruption in a certain characteristic of somebody's life, whether that be biological, like in this case, or social, or whatever, and then the impact that that has on the other aspects of their life, their cognitive parts of their life, or, and so we looked at it from that perspective, and just kind of examined his life, how it relates to our life, things that are similar and different. But again, the most impactful part was being able to do that in a group setting where I had classmates talking and looking at each other and nodding heads and well, not smiling because we had masks on, but we could tell just with the squint of the eyes, the agreement. I see you and I hear you, and I'm gonna smile through this mask because we're in person, y'all. No, this was awesome, guys. So I cannot wait until COVID is officially behind us. It is not yet, so make sure you stay masked up. But once it is, medical school is gonna be that much better. It's been amazing so far. Can't wait to see what it's actually like when it's normal. But now I'm gonna head back home and do a little work, but I don't have much to do because anatomy's over. So I don't actually know what to do with myself. It's only 3:30 and I have a little bit to do, a few things, but not much.
All right, it is around 4:45. I'm back in my office. I only have one final thing I have to do today. I just have to write a quick reflection on the lecture and the discussion for the course that I'm currently in. And then that's it for the day. I hope this is encouraging for some pre-meds out there who may be intimidated by the workload of medical school. There will be difficult and challenging times like anatomy where you grind a lot, and there will also be some more manageable experiences as well where you get to have more time to do some things that you're interested in, including just binge watching Netflix. So Madison just got home, and so I'm excited. We're gonna go on a little family walk with us two and Blaze, and this is usually the highlight of my day where we get to just spend some time talking to each other and catching up on our days. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. It really helps build this channel up and tells the YouTube algorithm to show my video to more people. So smash that like button if you haven't yet. Be sure to subscribe, tap that bell. New videos every week. You're not gonna wanna miss a step in this journey. But of course, until the next one, keep evolving, and I'll see you guys soon.